And okay, we're going. Fuck it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to 5 Pounds of Gunt, episode 20, the 20th episode here. We're hanging out. Uh, I was playing GoldenEye on my N64 here, and then PPP called and said, "Hey, let's do a show." So now we're doing a fucking show. Hey, AEW, AEW. Do you watch Raw? What? Well, what you missed? You missed Nia Jax crying about her hole on Raw. She fell and she did a backdrop, she did a leg drop on the apron, and she went and she screamed, "My hole! My hole!"
Just shows are so fucking boring and blasé. WWE very fucking mediocre there. It's not even fucking worth tuning into. Sad.
Bro,
It's
you
very
gotta watch
sad.
who's Edge gonna pick for the Royal fucking Rumble? Who's he gonna pick? Who's he
Who
gonna
gives a
pick?
shit? Who gives a shit? Really? Like, fuck.
Honestly, who does give a shit? Fuck it.
I don't know.
Let me.
Is Edge really gonna go over at WrestleMania and fucking shaft one of these guys? Or
Yeah, I think he's gonna shaft. No, he's gonna lose. He's gonna job out to Roman. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna job to fucking Roman.
well, that's what I thought was gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking put him over McIntyre and just say, fuck it. Fucking shaft him.
McIntyre's been like the champion for everything but like 2 weeks for like almost a year now. I mean, I like his run, but like, maybe we could do it where Edge wins for a bit. He has a small run when fans come back. He gets to pop the crowd by being the old timey guy, and then you fucking win. And then Drew McIntyre wins it back from him or something. Like in SummerSlam or some shit.
I don't know. I mean, is there really any crowds to pop at this point? No, there is no crowd.
Bro, fuck, you see the Super Bowl? That's gonna be WrestleMania. It's gonna be that kind of crowd at the Super Bowl. That's what it's gonna be, bro. I guarantee it. I guarantee.
The 7,500 vaccinated healthcare heroes. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Did you hear when they announced the 7,500 vaccinated healthcare heroes? And then there was Black Lives Matter poetry.
Oh, the slam poetry was so like lame. Like, how many black people listen, I don't usually do this, but like, imagine you're a black man and you have to tell people that that's what your culture is. Like, can you imagine the shame of having to admit, yeah, that girl going, yes, and I say this, and I say this.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Imagine going home. Imagine you're like a fucking strong black dude who's like got like hardcore values, and he's gotta go. Yeah, that's my girl up there.
Oh fuck! I don't know. It was a fucking nightmare. It was like some sort of schizoid dup fucking tard green text nightmare fever dream, wasn't it?
It was so fucked. And then the game was just like Tom Brady blows out the fucking Chiefs. The white race wins again. Completely PTFOs them. It's not even fair. It's like, how are these two teams similar? Like, how are they equally ranked? Like, what the fuck happened?
I don't know. The mulatto man was eternally put in his place yet again. Papas and mulattoes PTFO'd.
I thought what's his face, the mulatto actually looked okay as like he did some crazy fucking throws. Like, he got tackled and he threw like a Hail Mary, straight pinpoint to the end zone.
No, he is really talented. It's just the Tampa defense was really good that day, and his receivers just had hands of stone. The hands were made of brick.
They're diamond hands, baby. You gotta go
diamond hands.
Diamond hands. I can't catch it. The problem was the whole team, the air was so thin down there, they just couldn't breathe. They were having trouble breathing, brother. Okay.
Diamond fucking hands on the GameStop stock, right? What's it at now?
I don't know.
$50.
I never got a chance to buy it. It's over. It's fucking down the shitter. You gotta buy Dogecoin though. I made like $10 off of that shit, bro. Free money right there. Thanks, Daddy Elon.
Oh. Daddy Elon! Market manipulation,
I bought
SEC coming for you.
I bought 169 Dogecoins, brother. That's 106. I bought him for like $2, and I made 10.
The meme magic, it delivers. Oh shit! All right, let's get into this fucking AEW show. There,
yeah, let's do it. Where's my AEW report? Fuck. Hey, everyone in the chat. I know we just dropped this out of fucking nowhere. Oh, we're missing Impact Wrestling right now. It's happening right now. We're going head to head. That's why our viewership is fucked.
That's why our viewership's in the toilet.
We missed. We are competing with Impact. Who can fucking draw better than Impact? Honestly,
there's nobody. It's the greatest promotion on earth. There,
they kind of are.
You're baked out of your fucking mind. You know.
Okay. By comparison, who's better? Who's better?
Al Chad's rise up. Al Chad's
gotta rise up. Like, who's left? You know who the best promotion in the world is, though? It's All Japan, because they're completely out of this. They aren't touched by any of this shit. They're doing their shit. They're doing their 60-minute match where the guys just stare at each other. They haven't been touched at all. They're just fucked.
Yeah. Well, Impact is, when I was watching it, which was 6 months ago now, and I was watching it every week. It was my favorite show in terms of wrestling, but I just stopped watching it because they lost a lot of the guys that I was watching it for. Killer Cross, they lost Cage, they lost John Morrison.
Wasn't that 2019 Impact that you're talking about? Like, that's almost been a year. That's like a year now.
I guess it's almost been a year ago now. But I liked all those guys. I was watching it pretty religiously when they were around. Now that they're all gone, and it just feels to me like a fed that if you get attached to anybody in it, or you're excited about the direction that they're in, they're going to be poached by somebody else. They're going to lose out on these talents. So I find it hard to get invested in it, because it used to be a promotion that actually would try and compete, and now it's just like an indie fed. It's kind of sad. If they were running shows up here in Canada, I would go to them. They're not right now.
So. No one's running any shows, though, to be fair. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, well, aren't the tapings taking place? No, they're in Tennessee right now, the tapings are. So.
Yeah, but they were in Toronto before that. I almost went to the Rebellion pay-per-view in 2019, but I didn't end up going. So.
Well, what can you do? I went to the Impact show in 2019 at the WrestleMania. No, that was 2018. They did the Impact versus Lucha Underground show.
I've went to, actually, in my life, one Impact event, which was the TNA Impact taping. I might have told you this before. Night after Jeff Hardy passed out on meth, and Sting had to win the belt at Victory Road.
Oh my god!
So I was in Orlando for that, and I went and saw that fucking that taping, and I remember there's two things that stick out about that taping. One was the Pope D'Angelo De Niro doing faith healing. So he was in the ring, literally like healing a blind man, like making the lame walk and stuff with his powers. And then there was this fat woman. He goes, "Lady, not even Jesus can help you lose." This fat woman. And then the other thing that stood out about that show was like Bully Ray, I think, was like a heel at the time. And this fucking redneck in the crowd with me was like, "I'll tell you, Devon won't let him get away with this. Devon gonna come out and whoop his ass." And like, he really like genuinely believed in Devon, like that wrestling was real. Brother Devon was gonna kick Bully Ray's ass. It was just amazing. I've never really seen anybody. Oh, and the other thing was the fucking RVD mark. RVD mark, this fucking guy lost his mind when RVD came out. I was up at the fucking the front, like the rail, to watch, like where the wrestlers are walking in, and I'm next to this guy, and he just starts screaming, "Rob fucking Van Dam!" The whole fucking show, he's just chanting the whole fucking show, and he's like, "Rob, I love you, Rob, you're the whole fucking show." He was fucking marking. I've never seen anyone mark out so hard in all my life. And he like reached out, and, like, he was like grabbing RVD just to like touch the hem of his garment. He said, "I've been touched by RVD, man." Like, Jesus Christ.
That's
It was a crazy crowd. It was an interesting crowd at the TNA events.
that's fucking excellent. Wow. Fuck. What was the one show? I've only been to one Impact show too, and that was Impact versus Lucha Underground at WrestleMania in New Orleans. Ringside for
Oh
that
yeah.
one. If you go watch watch that back on Twitch, you can see me ringside getting the fist bumps from the brothers. You know what I'm saying? That was a highlight of that whole weekend. Actually, it was a fucking great show. But no, I got to meet Scott Steiner. That's where I got my Scott Steiner autograph and my photo taken with him. But I also met Virgil that weekend. Here's my Virgil autograph. See, check that out. Peep it. Paid the $5 for Virgil's autograph.
$5 for Virgil's autograph. Oh shit!
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was so cool. He just came up. He didn't let me hold it. He didn't let me touch the $1 million belt. He let some other kid come up and touch it, but he wouldn't let me because he thought I was a greasy little shit.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have fucking pimp slap Virgil.
Oh,
like, boy.
Dude, he's tall. He's like 6-something. Like, he would have kicked my ass, honestly. Like, he's like
really shit.
He's actually big.
Is he like 50 years old though now?
Yeah, his knees were fucked. Like, I could have pushed him over and he would have went down, but he still would have taken me down with him. He would have. He's one of those fuckers.
Yeah. So this week's AEW starts off with the Battle Royal.
It's beach break, baby. It's the beach episode with no beach theming whatsoever. Basically,
I'm glad you mentioned it. I was so disappointed.
It's like there was like last year that they had the fucking the girls with the fucking bikinis and stuff, and they had the whole. It was leading up to the fucking the cruise, and they had like the whole people were dressed up in Hawaiian shirts and stuff. It was cool. It was fun. Now it's just like, we got a couple of things, but there's a palm tree over here somewhere. I don't fucking know what happened.
It's like a palm tree. Yeah, here's your beach break. It's not like they had to do it on an actual beach, although I don't know why they couldn't do it on a beach. I don't know. So they're in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, well, why don't you just go down to a beach for this one taping? That would have been a fun thing to do, just shake things up. I guess they've got their fucking setup right now with the COVID testing. But what I'm more concerned about is why this whole episode, why was it a special episode? This just felt like a regular episode of Dynamite there wasn't even like a title match on the show, was there?
Oh, there was not even a TNT title match.
There wasn't anything. This just felt like a regular episode of the TV show, which would have, I think if we had just advertised as a regular episode of the TV show, it would have been better. Actually, I thought if it was just a regular episode of Dynamite, I thought this episode was okay. I'll just say that right now. But if it's built up as a special show, so as a special show, I thought it under-delivered. It just didn't feel like a big thing, except for the ending, obviously, which we'll get into. But
yeah, I didn't think this was a fucking terrible episode of Impact. No. But it was just kind of like Impact.
You're right. This is not.
It existed. It existed. It was just like it was just there. It's there. It's very plain, very average.
Yeah.
This Battle Royal, I don't know why they decided to do it a few nights after the Royal Rumble, because compared to the Rumble, it's gonna look cheap. It's gonna look shitty.
Yeah. My friends, this was just like nice to my friends, and my one friend liked this better than the Rumble because he said it was shorter and he didn't have to watch an hour of wrestling, which he said is too much for him. But all my other friends agreed, like this wasn't as good as the Royal Rumble. Although the one thing with their battle royals that AEW does do well is they do give basically everyone in the match a pretty good spot, or like something's happening. There's at least a storyline going for everyone in the match. Like, there isn't really like any filler people in here, for any of these people. But at the same time, it's not as exciting. There's not as much drama. It's not as serious, And the whole tag team battle royal, if one person gets eliminated but the other doesn't, it kind of splits up teams and stuff. I'm not sure I like it that much. I thought it was...
I don't know.
But it was going up against the Royal Rumble. I thought it was like, this is a very much a step down immediately. It's like after coming back off the main event of the men's Royal Rumble and even the women's Royal Rumble, I thought this was just okay. It was just an average battle royal, which is like, why do this now? Why not do this next week? Why not swap the matches from next week? And it's not like you were in a rush for anything.
I don't know what it was, like trying to show off that they can do it better than WWE or whatever, but it was not better than WWE because it's a battle royal where you've stuck like 20 wrestlers in the ring at once.
Mhm.
It's always a clusterfuck right off the beginning.
Yeah.
It always every battle royal. I like battle royals, but like I prefer it the Royal Rumble style where you don't get more than 6, 7, 8 guys in the ring, because you start to get 15, 20 guys, 30 fucking dudes in the ring at once. You can't tell what's going on. Most guys are just doing rest spots in fucking corners, or just like grappling hold, like holding in the corner and stuff like this.
Yeah.
The match was a bit of a mess. I thought it was a little bit sloppy and messy. Just the biggest issue with it was what we said from the beginning, where the Royal Rumble just happened. It's the best battle royal you see all year, and this just can't compare to it. It's not going to compete with that. It was short though. It only went about 12 minutes, which was good.
Yeah.
But MJF and Jericho won,
Which doesn't surprise me. They also used it to build up, Jericho eliminated Sammy, so I think Sammy during the show later left the inner circle essentially, so they're at least forwarding that storyline. I'm not sure I like that, but
But so if they're gonna have Sammy leave, I don't know why they didn't book the Battle Royal to have come down to Jericho and Sammy at the very end.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Jericho's like, you have to, because that's how I thought it was going to go, was ends up with those two at the end. Jericho says, you have to leave the ring. I'm the boss of this group. And then Sammy gets his big baby face moment where he turns on him, beats his ass. He didn't do that. So I thought they were going to extend the story out for another month or however long. But now it looks like Sammy's leaving anyway. So I just don't know why they didn't book it where, but then I guess Sammy would have had to lose clean to Jericho, be tossed out. So the way he gets eliminated accidentally protects him more, I guess. But
yeah, kind of. I guess I think what you would have been more dramatic and probably would have been more exciting. But I think the way they did it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as what probably they should have done. So it's just like I said. I mean, this whole show, this whole flavor until we get to the main event, it's just gonna be like this is just kind of an average. Things moved along.
Just average,
basically all the storylines.
We had Darby.
Basically, I'll say with the battle royal as well and make a point. Basically, everyone in the match had some kind of storyline progression. Like Private Party got eliminated because Good Brothers came in and interfered, which built up their TNA match. Young Bucks got eliminated too because of the Good Brothers, which builds up that breakup angle, which I'm sure is already gonna happen. So there's at least a little bit going on here. And then Jungle Boy, who won last week, got put over again to be one of the last people. But then he just gets eliminated, and I think in general, basically everyone in the match had a point of being in the match. Even though with most of them they were just doing rest spots, they at least all got a little spot to shine, which is good. But I'm glad it was short, because I don't like these fucking long matches right now. It's boring me. I got low attention span. I was playing. I'm a retard and I'm a stupid idiot, and I don't like to look at the screen without my friends and I will start looking at our phones, or he'll play. My one friend has his PC and he plays Halo on it. He was just doing that. Have you ever played Halo Reach, the challenge where you have to go down and kill the elite from the cliff while killing yourself at the same time? He was doing that the whole show.
Oh fuck.
Just kept
really invested in the product there.
Oh yeah, he's hyper invested. He's into it, bro. He's all into this shit. He's
really
all in, baby. He's all in.
He's all in for the all elite. FTR wasn't in the match. I think they had a video package later saying that. It's probably smart not to put them in if they weren't going to win the Battle Royal.
Yeah, and they had a pretty good. The excuse was that because they beat up Jungle Boy last week and the team or whatever, that they've been, that was their punishment, their slap on the wrist. They don't get to be in the Battle Royal because they, their misconduct or whatever. Which is it's stupid. It in kayfabe makes no fucking sense because the wrestlers are supposed to beat each other up. That's what the job description is. But whatever. At least they didn't lose, so that's good. Before Darby Allen, there was the Jade Cargill workout video, brother. Did that get your rocks a going or what? When this muscular black woman is just going, pumping that iron, doesn't it make you just want to go, Does it make just lose your shit?
I don't know. I think this whole Jade Cargill stuff, I think I don't know if she's ever even worked a match before.
No, I don't think she
Has she
has.
ever worked before anywhere? So I don't know how this match is going to turn out with her and Shaq. Um, two people who I don't think know how to fucking wrestle at all.
No, this is
wrestling Cody, and like it's going to be bad. This match, like
it's not even happening on a pay per view. Here's the deal. I was thinking this too. If it would have been a better match if it was just Cody versus Shaq. Because the whole point of having the tag match is to have Shaq lean on this other person. But this other person's also a rookie, and the other person Cody's teaming with too is also now a rookie. Even if it was Brandy, she's also not the best wrestler. So there's only like one good wrestler in the whole match, and one good wrestler and there being one bad wrestler in the ring versus three bad wrestlers in the ring would be a much better scenario. But
yeah, so I don't know. I think you should have done Cody versus Shaq and booked it something like Big Show and Floyd Mayweather, which I think worked good. You know, it's possible to make these matches work with non-wrestlers, but you just have to book a lot of outside interference and like foreign objects and different spots for them to do. Lots of smoke and mirrors, and they could get them through it. But I don't know how they're going to get through this. There's going to be a lot of botching. I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of botches.
It's not going to be good. Know. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I can't wait to see how bad it's going to be. That's how you know you're on the right track in wrestling.
Yeah, I think some people will tune in for it for the freak show aspect of it, but will they stick around? I don't know.
It depends on how bad it is, I guess. If it's really fucking terrible, it might just tune people out for like a long time. But we'll see. We'll see.
So Darby Allen and Sting cutting this fucking promo. Oh fuck. I don't know, like all these promos with Sting and Darby Allen, like I just find them to be very cringy, very fucking lame, just weird. Don't get it. He's defending the title against Joey Janela. Why? I don't even remember the last time Janela was on Dynamite.
It's been what, like fucking months, you know? And now he's gonna.
But I don't know, they're giving him the title shot based, I'm guessing, on his Dark record, but I don't watch Dark, and I don't know how many people actually do watch Dark. So
I think it's airing right now. Let's find out. We're going up against Dark and TNA. That's how you know we're really gonna lose this ratings war. Today, Dark went live and 26,000 people watched it.
So, you know, nobody knows what's going on that show. Nobody has any fucking clue. So it doesn't make sense to give people a title shot based off their appearances on Dark. I don't know. There's some sort of weird booking, and I think like Joey's not going to win that match.
No,
everybody knows that. So it's just a strange thing to book. I mean, I don't know how much it does for Darby.
I mean, I'm guessing the idea is that they're going to go out there and have a pretty crazy hardcore match, would be my guess, and trying to get them both over by, like, showing how tough they both are. That's usually why you would put Janela in a match right now. You know, he doesn't have enough build-up as, like, a wrestler. The thing is, Janela was always a better booker than he was a wrestler. Like, he booked some pretty fun, like, WrestleMania party shows and stuff with some cool guys. He got, like, a lot of these, like, I mean, he's the guy who, like, first pushed Orange Cassidy, first pushed Jungle Boy. You know, he's like a pretty, like, he can spot good talent, but he's not that great of a wrestler. So he's only really good at being like a fucking hardcore maniac who can do stupid shit to himself. So my guess it's just gonna be a garbage match that's just supposed to get like create some cool gifs and stuff or some good video highlights for the fucking show next couple weeks. That's my guess. What it's for. It's a
Stark's promo was all right here.
I agree. I thought Stark's was pretty good. The whole
Starks is pretty good on the microphone. You know, he's good in the ring. I just don't know about like the way he looks facially. You know, a little bit not quite what I'm looking for, but
he reminds me of Christian. Honestly, he's got like that knacker face, you know, that really like ratty, like, you know, kind of an ass, like kind of like ugly face. But he's good at everything else. You know, he's a good wrestler. He's a good talker, but he's ugly.
It was just what I was thinking this whole time. I think this is the one where Cage was shirtless and they were all wearing clothes. And like one of these things is not like the other. Like you look at Starks, you look at Taz, you look at this other dude. They're all like kind of like out of shape and like just look like regular dudes. And then you've got Cage, who's just this massive bodybuilder with no fucking shirt on. And it doesn't look like he belongs with the rest of this group. Like the group doesn't look like it makes sense together. But it works. The group works. It's just that the visual of it to me is a little bit funny
Well,
with Cage.
well, before you had like with when it was just Cage, Starks, and Taz. You had Taz like the short fat guy. It was like the fucking it's like strong bad, strong sad, and strong mad kind of a deal
Yeah.
where like you
But
got
now they've added this fourth dude who I'm not, who is this guy?
it's
The
Taz's
fourth dude.
son. It's Taz's
As
son.
a son. God
Oh,
damn it. You told me that last week, but like fuck, I don't know. Like he doesn't belong there. I don't know why Taz's son is there. Maybe he'll be good, but I don't know. It's just the look of the group all together, the four of them, is kind of weird to me. Because Cage just doesn't look like he belongs with them.
No, before he was like the three guys, and he was like he fit that role. Now Starks, Taz, and Taz's son kind of look like they would be like this kind of like weird Brooklyn kind of palish, Brooklyn kind of out of shape like trio, and Taz
Yeah.
and fucking Cage just hanging out. He's just there. He's just all along for the ride. It doesn't make a lot of
So
sense.
so I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As I
You know what
said,
they
there's
say?
Stings.
You know what they say? Three's
Yeah.
company before his crowd.
Sting's promo was like very weird. He's like, I'm gonna be there to make sure it's a one-on-one match. Like it was just awkward. It was an awkward promo
It
from
is.
Sting. Like, and he's like, look into my eyes. I think he said, like, look into, and I'm like, I'm looking in your eyes, and I don't really believe you. You know,
Sting was never a great promo. That's a thing people always forget. He was good at like being like kind of a white meat baby face every now and then, but like he was always a better like in ring guy who was like able to like get really good shit out of people in the ring, or like you think of Ric Flair, Sting, and stuff like that. He was I don't know what Sting was. Sting just had a cool look and was a good wrestler. He wasn't always a good promo. I don't know.
yeah. So then we had, oh shit, Britt
Women's
Baker and
match.
Thunder Rosa.
Women's match.
Yeah.
I once
Um.
again I went and I made myself a nice drink. And I forget what I started doing during this match. I think I was talking about something when this started. But whatever the case, I wasn't paying attention that hard, unfortunately. So you can go into it.
Uh. Yeah. I mean, this match was really long. It was like 15 minutes long. For a women's match. Look, it's probably one of the better quality women's matches they've had. There was a lot of like mat-based wrestling encounters, like that Thunder Rosa was like carrying Britt Baker through,
Mm-hmm.
but like a lot of it just came across as like just inferior to if the men were doing it. That was my biggest issue with it is okay, some of these moves are fine, some of these transitions are good, but they're just a bit slower and just a bit poorer and a bit sloppier than if this was a high level men's technician. And I know this is probably the highest level women's technician they have, this Thunder Rosa. The match is okay. Britt Baker won with the lockjaw, I think, after throwing her into the exposed turnbuckle. But I don't know, like it just okay women's match. It's better than probably most women's matches, but at this point, to me, the whole division is so buried that I don't really care a whole lot about it. So
I
that's
The thing is, how you feel about this division is how I feel about all women's wrestling, like up and down the entire fucking globe. And I don't know, we'll maybe talk a little bit about the Joshis are bringing in, but like I don't even care that much about Joshi wrestling. I think women's wrestling as a whole just needs to like either get a hard reset and like everyone needs to get fired and we just start from scratch in like 5-10 years, or we need to just give up on it. It's fucking it every single women's match like I've seen. Like I know the women's Royal Rumble was okay. I didn't get back to watching it, but like basically anytime I watch a women's match, I feel this way. Like it's just like it's so like it's not as good. It's not the same level. They're not like trying the same level. It's just not great. You know?
it's this is the thing. Like this match is fine. This match was fine. It was enough. I just know that the men would have executed a lot of the spots in this match way better. They executed these spots. It would have looked faster. It would have looked crisper. And so I understand that they're doing some decent moves in this match, some good counters, some good reversals, but it's just not up to the standard of the men's. And I don't know if it's fair to judge it that way, but that's how I judge it.
I do
So,
too. I do too. That's why I've been saying that since we had our first debate. That's my problem, and it hasn't got. It's only gotten worse. uh,
let's see here.
Hangman Page
So
and Matt
then,
Hardy
okay,
versus Chaos
yeah.
Project. This is a not very good match. Didn't like it. I thought it was just okay. I thought Hangman had a pretty good run wild segment in here. That's the only positive I'll say. I thought he looked good at the end, but I didn't think this was anything great. I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, I think I said something to the effect of when Matt Hardy sent Luther off the ring, he took that back bump. Like I said, I hope he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. Um, that was my main thought is I hope that Luther is paralyzed and he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I hope he's died. I fucking hate Luther. I wish serious harm upon Luther. I hate him. I don't know why he has a job. I don't know why Serpentico even has a fucking job. I don't know why Matt Hardy needs to be wrestling a fucking fat 50-year-old man every fucking week. I just don't get it. I don't understand what this storyline is. I don't know why Hangman Adam Page has to be a part of it. I thought Hangman Adam Page is probably the best guy they have, and they've put him in this weird fucking comedy jabroni fucking act. It's sad.
I don't know why we have to make Luther wrestle on TV. I'm guessing the reason they hired him was to be like a trainer or a coach because he's got experience and stuff. Maybe he's a good trainer or a coach, or like a guy that like the young guys can work with and get some experience. But like watching him wrestle isn't entertaining on national TV. Why is he on national TV? He should stay on Dark and do his job as a trainer and just fuck off. Besides that, he just needs this. Serpentico, I think, is actually a decent wrestler. I think he's got a cool mask and he's okay, but he's being dragged down into the shits by Luther. He just looks like an infinitely bigger fucking
Yeah.
asshole because he's wrestling with Luther, who is an old. He's too fucking old to be wrestling. He's not good enough. He's like what the Undertaker. He's not that much younger than the Undertaker, right? And Undertaker, we all agree had to stop. Luther, he's gotta fucking stop. And maybe he was never good, so fuck him.
He Oh, I don't know. Like the guy, it's one thing for Sting to be wrestling or Edge or Undertaker, somebody who's an actual legend who you could say has earned this opportunity to be working unsafe because their experience. Like
Well,
this guy, I've
They're
never
working
seen
for
him
them.
before.
They're working because they draw money. Like Edge, hypothetically, I don't know if he actually will. Edge is drawing attention to the product because he's a bigger star and he brings in money. Undertaker brings in money. Fucking even Jericho brought in money to AEW when he started, and he probably continues to do it to some degree, even though he's lost a lot of that money drawing ability. Luther brings in
Yeah.
no money. There's no essential reason to have him there. And we can talk about what the
No,
meaning of draw right now is, whether ratings are the main thing, or fucking WWE getting bought out by Peacock, whether it even matters if they're popular or not at this point for money making wise. But for like this sake, like who the fuck is this Luther asshole? Why do I need to watch him? I don't want to see this shit. It looks like dog shit.
he makes everybody around him look worse, and he just makes me angry. Like he couldn't take the cake bump properly a few weeks ago. And I mean, if you can't even do that right, if you can't even do the comedic aspect of wrestling right as a comedy worker, just get off my fucking screen. But no, because he's friends with Jericho and this is a fucking Make a Wish charity federation, that's what we're doing. So I don't know. It just frustrates me because it makes the product look cheap. I'm actually pulling for this company to succeed. I want there to be good wrestling. I want there to be an alternative to WWE. But when you criticize WWE for having old guys and part timers and not giving the young guys a fucking go, and then you have Matt Hardy and fucking Luther on your show, it's just retarded. You know?
It is. Well, I mean, like at least you know I don't want to get into the Matt Hardy things. I've gone into it before, but like this Matt Hardy new character, this Big Money. I mean, I like him, the Big Money Matt character, a little bit. All right, he was okay in original TNA, but like, it's just I don't know. It just feels like a fucking wasted potential, and I'm not a big fan of this whole thing. I just don't. I don't like this storyline with Hangman. I always am optimistic. Hopefully, they'll turn it into something good, but that doesn't mean that they're going to, and they probably won't. So I don't know. Let's move on because let's talk about this fucking women's tournament that they announced. You know,
Oh,
half Joshi, half
okay,
American. Let's run down the list. I'll do the whole list, and then um,
okay.
Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, Veni, Emi
Ooh,
Sakura.
ooh,
I don't know who Veni is. That's just the name I'm reading. Emi
yeah.
Sakura, Ryo Mizunami, Mei Suruga, Rin Katakura, and Maki Ito. And then on the other side,
Yeah.
Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, Ty Conti, Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, Anna Jay, Layla Hirsch, and Riho. I guess Riho will be in America, or will she be in the Joshi side? I don't know. What the fuck?
I don't know. I guess Riho's on the American side of the bracket, but she should be on the Japanese side of the bracket.
Maybe she's in
I don't
America
know.
right now. I think half the matches are being filmed in Japan and half of them are being filmed in
Mm.
America. So that's why they're broken up by nationalities because they're filming them over like a fucking Tokyo Joshi show.
Yes, so they're filming. Actually, I know exactly where they're filming the Japanese. Now that you brought that up, they're filming it at Emi Sakurai's like Silver Series Wrestling or whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah,
something like this. I don't know. Like Emi Sakurai, I don't like. She comes out dressed like Freddie Mercury.
yeah.
I don't understand that. I think it's stupid, and she's a bit old and she's a bit fucking slow, and I'm not really into her.
I'm not
So
into.
far as
Go ahead. Go ahead.
so far as all these other Japanese women are concerned, they all just seem interchangeable to me. I don't know if I'll ever remember any of their names or what they look like. I feel like you have all these different Japanese women come in that can't cut promos in English. They're not going to be distinguished from each other. Riho is fine if she's the only Japanese woman on because that's like her thing, right? Like Asuka in WWE or whatever. But and they have like a couple Japanese women in WWE, like Io Shirai. I think they have another one now, a couple different ones. But like, if you're going to bring in like 8 interchangeable Japanese wrestlers, I don't think any of them are going to get over.
Yeah.
Um, the American bracket is made up of the same people we've been seeing on AEW women's television from the beginning. That is the problem with AEW women's wrestling. So I don't see a solution here. I don't see this being something that's getting me excited to tune in next week or to the show, but maybe women who are watching, if there are women watching this, will be into it. But
Oh, I thought you mean AEW. You mean this show? Because I don't think there's a single fucking woman
yeah.
watching our show right now. Like I've
Oh
seen my
yeah,
YouTube analytics. It's like it's zero. It's the goose egg baby, as it should be. Um,
yeah,
I'll say this. I know a couple of these Japanese ladies from like my little bit of knowledge and shit from owning an image board and stuff. I've seen a couple of them posted here twice. I think Emi Sakura. I think she's in a good wrestler, but maybe she's a good trainer. It's a lot of those people. It's one of those things where just because you're good wrestler doesn't mean you're a good trainer. Just because you're a bad wrestler doesn't mean just because you're a good trainer doesn't mean you're a good wrestler. I think she's probably just known more for being. I think she's trained most of these people who are in this tournament, and there's some good wrestlers in this tournament. So maybe she's she's got the spot because she's a trainer. It's the same reason QT Marshall has a spot on AEW TV is because he's he's a pretty prolific. Like half their roster is trained by the guy. So he's got the spot because he's a good trainer. I mean, fuck, Kurt Hawkins trained MJF. Think about that. Like Kurt Hawkins was the guy who taught MJF how to wrestle. So you don't have to be fucking excellent to do that shit.
yeah.
Aja
Well,
Kong is
no,
obviously. Go ahead.
I was going to say because a lot of the best football coaches never played football, or like a lot of the best coaches in any sport, they might have played, but they were never great, or they
Right.
didn't play at all. So in wrestling, you don't have to be amazing to teach people what to do.
Mhm.
Um, you know,
It's a different skill. I just don't like the idea. I don't agree with it of like pushing the coaches as wrestlers too, but that's what they're doing here with Emi Sakura. That's why she's got this spot in the tournament. As for who else is in the tournament, I mean, I know Yuka was in the show back when it first started. I thought she was pretty okay. Aja Kong obviously is she's kind of a classical. She's been around for a long time. She's got that big,
yeah,
butch lady look. Um, the big standouts are obviously Maki Ito coming in. she's got a pretty big internet following. I don't know if that's going to translate to viewership or skills in the ring. She was a former J-pop idol, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember,
Uh,
and she swears on Twitter a lot. So people like her because they
well,
think she's
one
cool.
thing we got to say, though, is maintain consistency. We asked, I think, last week for tournaments.
And
They gave us a tournament. It wasn't like a G1
it's an
or anything
elimination.
that's,
Yeah,
it's an
but it's a solid elimination tournament. It's like the elimination tournaments they've had. There's been like 4 or 8 people. This is a full 16-man tournament. It's a big tournament. They're going to be probably showing, as long as they show these episodes. I don't know how I feel about them these being on TV, but I think they should show these on TV if they really want to push this. If they're going to do this right, you got to put a tournament match on the TV, maybe 1 or 2 every week. And then eventually at the end of this, we'll feel like whoever won it is a big deal. That's the ultimate goal of these whole things.
yeah. Who do you see winning this tournament?
Japanese side, I'm probably gonna guess it's Yuka Sakazaki. Although I think Maki Ito probably should win for popularity's sake. She should come close to winning, if anything. I think if they should hire her. She's a pretty easy get and probably get you some good. She'll get you good points in the Joshi world, obviously. American side probably gonna come down to Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in the finals again, like this. Um, Overall winner probably gonna be someone from the Japanese side. I'm gonna guess it's Yuka or Maki Ito. That's my guess.
I won't be surprised. I kind of think Riho's going to end up winning the whole fucking thing,
Yeah,
and
she's
that they're going
been.
to push Riho again. She was the champ, and then she had visa issues, so they had to take it off of her, right? And then he's been gone since then.
Because of
So,
COVID. I
like
mean,
Omega, I think Omega is in love with her.
they were
So
dating for a
I
while,
won't be
yeah.
surprised. So I
Re-
won't be surprised to see her win the tournament or Britt Baker win the tournament, and maybe they'll put the title on Britt Baker. Surprised they haven't put the women's title on Britt Baker yet, actually.
I hope they.
Um,
Well, I actually hope they do because that means one less women's segment on the show. Because there's always the Britt Baker and the women's title segment. Now we can just have the one segment, and I can just ignore it completely.
yes, yes. And they're really intent on making Britt Baker something. I don't think it's working. It doesn't really work for me,
Yeah.
but maybe there's some niche appeal somewhere. I don't know, but it's not for me. What was next? Jericho and MJF and Sammy promo, that shit.
Yeah, there was that promo. That's what we talked about earlier. Sammy kind of walked out on him. I'm not sure if this is gonna be like a full on breakup, but it felt like it. So I hope they followed up next week. I hope Sammy costs him the title match at the pay per view. I hope he comes in and fucks him up, and gets MJF his first pinfall loss or something. Give it have Sammy have MJF get
Yeah.
pinned because Sammy interferes, and I don't see MJF and Jericho winning the titles. I think the Young Bucks got to keep them because they're
No. There's there's no need. MJF and Jericho don't need the tag team titles.
yeah.
Um they they ought to be in the singles thing. They ought to be doing their own thing. They should break that team up soon.
But I think a
I don't know
Sammy
what they're doing. Like,
I think a
yeah,
Sammy MJF feud after they do the breakup, after they MJF Sammy will cost the match, MJF will get pinned by, and then they'll do Sammy MJF feud. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think it'd be a good feud actually. They're pretty young guys. I think they've worked together before. It just makes a ton of sense to have them wrestle each other right now.
yeah, I'd like it. I think Sammy, really could establish himself in that feud as a baby face. I think he's got the moves to be a baby face.
Yeah,
I think he's got decent enough mic skills. We'll see how he does. But if him and MJF can have good back and forth promos,
yeah,
tell a good story, I'd be very excited for that. And it would help both those guys, I think, to work together. Um, I'm bummed out MJF really isn't getting a title push. He won't for a while because we got Omega's going to be champion for at least 6 months, probably.
yeah.
Is what makes sense based on how they've been booking previous champions. As I played it over in my mind, I think that AEW probably has booked like the world title somewhat properly, like in terms of who they've selected to be champion. Like they kind of had to book it this way. So you get like Jericho establishes the credibility of it, and Moxley was their big poach from WWE. So they kind of had to give him the belt. And then Omega is kind of like their biggest, indie guy
He's kind
who
of their
they
he's the kind
face of AEW, really.
he's the main guy, like the main singles wrestler. It's him. Like when you think what AEW, you think people say the Bucks and Cody, but really you think Omega. He's like the face of the entire elite group. That's his thing, And he obviously was the one who brought Jericho Omega at the Tokyo Dome was what started this whole second company thing, really. Those New Japan and the All In show, and those shows are built primarily on Omega. Like, I mean, Jericho was a big part of it too, but like this whole like second revolution of secondary wrestling besides WWE kind of starts with Omega. It's his thing, whether we like it or not, whether whether he deserves it or not. It's like he's been the one who's been the main driving force for a lot of this shit.
Yes, and so I think with the world champions, it's made sense. I think MJF should get a title reign. He won't be the fourth, but maybe the fifth champion will be MJF or Hangman Page. Maybe it'll be Hangman, and Hangman takes the belt off Omega. In an ideal world, that's what would happen.
Good idea, and then maybe you could do
then do Hangman and MJF.
I don't want to cut the legs. I don't want to cut the legs out of Hangman at all. But there was this feud when Okada won the belt first from Tanahashi. Tanahashi had just won the belt at Wrestle Kingdom like a couple days before, and Okada won the belt off him like a week later by like doing a fluke win. I don't want to say that's the right thing to do, but maybe do like MJF cheats and steals it from Hangman, then Hangman's got to chase MJF to get it back.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I think they have to keep it on Omega for a while here. They got to give him a run and really kind of establish Omega in the minds of the American audience as being a big deal. Give him some opponents where he can work a 5-star match. Like give him. Yeah. I don't know who he's going to work it with. I don't know who they've got to work against him. I feel like somebody that would be amazing is if they just give CM Punk $5 million and bring him in as the babyface to wrestle Omega.
I would, I think that I would do that now, but I would probably, we say wait till fans come back. If that's a show, I would definitely wait till fans do come back and do it in Chicago. You do that, it's gonna be fucking like they could sell out like a major football stadium. Whether they be full sellout, but they could do a good amount of tickets on that. You could do a big football stadium show, make it look cool. Not WrestleMania level, but like WCW at the fucking Georgia Dome for Nitro kind of level, and push that shit.
Because I don't know who else they're gonna have Omega get in there with. That it's gonna be something people are gonna be hyped about, or even that's gonna deliver that like quality he had in Japan with Okada and with those other guys. I don't know who in that company can work
that level. I mean, obviously, the thing is, he's already in matches with Phoenix and Pac. Those would be the two guys.
Phoenix
and Pac. I mean, Pentagon too, if he comes back. Those are the three I would say that he could do good quality matches with. I think they're doing. I don't know why I feel like they're going to push Lance Archer here. I don't think he can work that level. And the question is, do you just bring in Okada? I mean, they're working with New Japan. We'll get to it at the end. Do you just do Omega Okada? Okada isn't doing anything in New Japan right now. He's not chasing any titles. He's not in any title picture. He's basically doing nothing. Do you just pay the money, have him quarantine for 2 weeks, and have him do a program here in the United States to get this shit over?
Yeah, but is New Japan gonna want to let Okada come over to America to lose Kenny Omega? Because I'm not gonna have Okada beat Omega. And do they want to have their exposure of one of their top guys, if not, their big ace for the last number of years, be exposed on a mainstream American show as losing? They've wanted to expand into the States. Yeah. I don't know if they'll let that happen, but it would be a good fucking a good fit. They brought Kenta in. Now.
Kenta lives in Florida already, and they're doing that. They're doing the Kenta Moxley feud in New Japan, so that's what the whole point of that is. I think if we're not talking like a main ace star from Japan, I mean, I wouldn't put Tanahashi in here. I wouldn't do that, but you could bring Suzuki over, Minoru Suzuki. You could do him and Omega. They would have I don't know, 100%, but that'd probably be a really fucking good match. It isn't as big of a sell as Okada, but it would be the kind of a match that would establish like a high level quality match.
I think the issue is like a lot of
Suzuki's older, so he's on his way out. He's not one of their main guys who are going to build the company for the future. He can come over and lose and still do just fine in New Japan. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
A lot of guys I would love to see him work with are in WWE right now doing nothing. Samoa Joe, Cesaro. Finn Balor,
AJ.
like
AJ's the big one.
AJ.
Is the,
Like, this is where WWE is really fucking them, is that a lot of these guys are literally doing nothing and they're just sitting there, just wasted, rotting, when they could have a main event program with somebody like Omega in AEW. And it's a real shame that WWE is able to hoard all these fucking guys.
yeah.
And a lot of times they're just not even on TV, you know? Ricochet could have worked probably a good program with Omega, but he's, like,
Ricochet, before he went through, even Ricochet in NXT, if he had like left after NXT, he didn't have to go through this main roster shit. He could have come in and been a main event guy, but he's fucking dead now. They've killed him so hard. It's gonna be hard for him to recover ever. I mean, maybe if he comes back as
what
Prince
about
Puma.
Aleister Black?
Aleister Black's less bad off than Ricochet because Aleister Black has just been off TV. He's just not been around. He's just forgotten. Ricochet's been on and losing, which I think is worse than not being on TV. I think if Ricochet got injured, he would be in a better position as a wrestler because he'd have some time off to essentially do nothing and have people forget how much of a jobber he is right now.
Yeah, it's just they have all these great like workers, indie guys that would fit in AEW, and they don't fit in WWE. Ricochet is never going to be the guy. I don't know why they're even holding on to these guys other than to make it so that the competition don't have people. Well, Daniel Bryan, if he could go to AEW and have another dream match
Bryan
with the Omega, or
would be fucking awesome. Have him completely shaved bald, go crazy. But you know what the thing is I don't get with Ricochet, not to do a tangent here, but why is he even in the main roster? Why is he not on NXT? Like what's his deal? Like they're not like he could go down and do just fine in NXT and he would be a good rating eventually he would be a good ratings draw against him for AEW. Like having going down this like fucking incredible Ricochet match. While AEW is doing a crappy Britt Baker match, you could have this amazing Ricochet match going on visually. That would be awesome for people to go tune into, but they don't do that. So I don't get the point.
No, I don't know. It's just it's embarrassing, and I don't know. Like WWE eventually, hopefully, is going to be hurt financially to the point that they have to let some people go. But it doesn't seem that way because they keep getting bailed out by the Peacock deal or the Saudi deal or whatever fucking deal. And then they just hoard these fuckers. And, like Samoa Joe,
he's just doing commentary. Why is he? Well, you know what, though? They did let people go at the beginning of this right around WrestleMania last year. And I think once contract renewals come up again, I think a lot of these guys are going to be gone from WWE. I don't think they're sticking around. I think they're just holding on to them because they have a contract. They don't want to. They figure they might as well keep them. But Zelina Vega is going to show up on AEW in one of these weeks, and I'm sure Aleister Black's her husband. I'm sure he's going to tune up too. They're both going to be gone. But
because I just don't know how AEW gets to that next level right now because I don't think they have enough pieces yet to really make a run. Because, like, you give it the belt to Omega, you're giving him this push, but who do we put him with? There's nobody really to put him with. We've seen him with Moxley. That's not the next level. That's not a match that's 5 stars. If you want to distinguish AEW, you want to have this indie style, they need to find guys for him to work with, give him a good run, and then he can put over Hangman or MJF or somebody later. But that's just what I'm saying. We'll get through this.
But speaking of marriage, we have to go on to the wedding. And you were right.
Yeah.
They ended this shit early. They fucking this thing. I thought this segment went on a little bit too long, but I thought the payoff was pretty okay at the end. I thought it was weird seeing fucking Jimmy Mitchell, fucking Sinister Minister out here. Fucking shades of. Do you want to talk about TNA? Here's the fucking TNA legend coming out, doing the procession as fucking Satanist overlord, doing the priest. Just fuck. It was fun. I didn't say it was a problem. I actually enjoyed him. He was one of the highlights of the set for him. But it's just like this whole thing felt a little bit like drawn out and like kind of like uneventful. So but it was okay.
So like the way I thought they were gonna do it was like as like this subversion thing where okay, every other wrestling wedding something has happened to make it go wrong.
Yeah.
This time nothing is gonna happen, and it's gonna go along smooth sailing. And the thing of it is, if they had done that, I don't know if I would have been pissed off or not, because at the end of the day, like it kind of felt cheap anyway. So I don't know what they could have done. It was an all right segment. I almost would have just preferred if Orange Cassidy hadn't popped out of the cake and the wedding had just fucking, went along perfectly smoothly.
Well, actually, it would have been funny, instead of having Orange Cassidy come up and ruin the wedding, or Chuck Taylor, have just, shit go wrong. Have just Penelope trip into the cake by accident, have, Miro bump into her, have, Kip Sabian be such a fucking idiot, he accidentally pushes his wife into the wedding, he's like, you ruined my day! And then they all get mad, and he's like, it's just your fault, Charles! He's like, I didn't do anything! And then he just pushes him over, and then Orange Cassidy goes up to pick him up at the end. They
were playing it wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like this, breaking the fourth wall type way, right? Mm-hmm. But then it ended up being the same shit it always is anyway.
She goes into the cake, and then Orange Cassidy pops out beneath the cake, and then they handcuff to the shit. As far as wrestling weddings go, it was it doesn't have shade on Lana and Lashley's wedding. Actually, that was Kino. This is nothing compared to that.
This wedding, I was disappointed that one, it wasn't on the beach, and the decorations for two were not great. It looked like the set looked a bit
if the same set was on the beach, it would have looked okay. Because it looked like a beach, awning and stuff, and you have to keep it light there. But in the ring, it just looked kind of whatever. You couldn't even put a rug down for these bitches. Just saying.
Yeah. So it was fine for what it was. I still had fun with the segment, James Mitchell stuff, and it was, she went into the cake. It's, you pop through it a little bit, but I don't know. I would have liked to see a little bit more creativity here, especially when they were going all out about, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Every fucking wrestling wedding ends this way, and they're looking in the box and all this stuff. And it would have been either better that shit happened on accident, like you said, or just flat out the wedding just went according to plan and it just ended. And then everybody would have been, disappointed, I guess, but it would have been different. So.
Would have been unique. I think I came up with a good idea there. They should have done my idea. I should have come up with that last week where they would have stolen it. It's the wedding. You think Orange Cassidy's gonna ruin it, but it's not Orange Cassidy. They just fuck it up because they're retards.
Oh, fuck. But I don't know. The only thing really to criticize is that, this is what Miro is doing. I think Miro could have been a top guy if they brought him in right.
Yeah.
He still can be. But are they ever going to use him that way? I don't know. I don't understand why he's a sidekick to Kip Sabian. If he was doing this kind of comedy stuff, but he was his own entity, I would feel better about it. He's like a secondary aspect to another character that's not really that interesting.
No, he's not. Yeah, it's just I've never been over on Kip Sabian. I never liked the act. I don't think he's that. I think he's an okay wrestler, but I've never been into him. I think Miro's given a lot to him, but it's not enough. I think he's also taken away from Miro. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next week. I'm assuming they'll do something. I mean, just fucking do the Kip Sabian, do the Miro Orange Cassidy match. I think that's what this is all building to. I think which will be a good, fun match.
Yeah.
They just need to get to it. I'm sure it's gonna be at the paper.
And they ended the Charles the Butler stuff. They've ended clearly the Charles the Butler stuff, which I thought was one of the better comedic parts of the show. I really enjoyed it, and I guess that's at an end. So I don't know. It's like they hit gold, and then they just kind of threw it away. It's just strange to me that they didn't call an audible on it, because I feel like people enjoyed that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Charles now. What are they going to do with him now?
He's going to, I'm sure Trent's going to be back any week now, so they'll go back to being best friends, and, they'll do some shit. They'll be in the tag match or some shit. Next, though,
there was
the Shaquille O'Neal recap. The Black Tornado. Okay.
So,
doing some Shaq food.
Obviously, Shaq heard everybody's complaints that his last promo, he didn't give a shit, and he was just reading. And this time he gave a good performance. Shaq can be a charismatic fuck. This was good. This was good.
The Shaq part was fucking this is if Shaq had listen. This whole segment, this whole feud is being ruined by the women. If it was just Shaq coming in and going, Cody Rhodes, I'm gonna give you the Black Tornado. I'm gonna lay some Shaq Fu on your ass. If it was just that and Cody like being baffled and like, listen, Shaq, you can't talk about my wife like that. I'll talk about your wife however I like. And then that would be excellent. It would have been so much better. It's like an easy fucking grab. You just have Shaq. Don't even have to bring him on the show. Have him do some promos on this fucking basketball show. And then have Cody cut some promos against him back on the regular show. But we gotta bring the women in to drag it down. And that's just the disappointing part. But the weird thing to me, obviously, they're doing this match on March 3rd on TNT. They're not doing it at the pay-per-view, which I think is like the weekend later, that like the weekend after or something, right? The 7th?
Here's why, right? So
It's
it was supposed to
contracts.
be March 7th. No, it's supposed to be March 7th, but that's the NBA All-Star game. So Shaq does coverage for TNT, the NBA All-Star game on the 7th.
Right.
So they had to move it to the 3rd for that reason. So that's why. I don't know. It would have been better for them to have it on pay-per-view, but I don't know. Now, if it's on free TV and they're able to put out the clips on YouTube, it's probably going to help them more than it being on pay-per-view anyway. Because what they're hoping, I'm guessing, is people, see the clip Shaq on YouTube and they see the women wrestling and they're like, wow, I didn't know women could wrestle and that Shaq existed in wrestling, And they start watching. I guess that's what they're going for, but I don't know if that's going to really work because
I don't know.
how many women are going to be clicking on Shaq clips? I don't know.
Well, the thing is also, if it was good women's wrestling, which is very limited, if it was decent women's wrestlers, that'd be one thing. But these are bad women's wrestlers. I think it's going to turn a lot of people off to the show once they watch the match. I just hope to God Shaq can save it. I have faith in Shaq's Fu. Shaq Fu may save the show and may save this match. We don't know. He's charismatic enough to do it.
We don't know. I mean, Shaq could give a great performance in the match. It could be really good, but I'm not sure on it. We'll see.
Lance Archer,
Eddie then Kingston, it was Eddie Kingston
lumberjack match. There was. Some people didn't like this match. I thought it was okay. I'm happy Archer won. I think this should have been. It was like a redo of last week essentially, where it's like, we fucked up. We made Eddie Kingston win. We should let Archer win. He's obviously needs to get the win here, but I wasn't really paying attention too much. I was kind of like casually watching it. But from what I saw, there was some cool moves. They almost beat up the woman, which was cool. I like that. That was pretty badass. They almost kicked the woman's ass, which is always bad. This is always nice. It's always nice. But then Archer won, so that's what happened.
So I don't know. There's like the only thing that I didn't really like was it kind of started becoming a bit of a clusterfuck towards the end with. Like, I don't know who these fucking people were. Bear Bronson and Boulder, I guess. And fucking Billy Gunn starts coming out and Eddie Kingston's arguing with them. And it's just a little bit like weird. I'm not sure who these people were and stuff. But they give the win back to Archer, which makes sense. But I'll tell you, like, people criticize WWE for 50-50 booking, these AEW fans, but they'll defend this as being the second coming of Christ. I don't know. It was all right. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it was kind of a chaotic match. It is.
Let's see.
FTR talked about they were suspended. I talked about that. They were torturing Marco Stunt.
That was pretty funny. Let's see. Joey Janela promo on the TNT title. We already talked about that basically. Next week's lineup, so far, we'll get into that later once we get the full lineup. Next was the main event: Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. I thought this was a good match, very good, very obviously high pace. Phoenix looked the best out of anyone. I thought Pac and Phoenix looked really good. Good Brothers did some good stuff. I do like their characters and their act. I like the Good Brothers act on Impact. I watch a little bit of it here and there. They're pretty good. I like their shit. They're fun guys. They're obviously like more comedy, but like they're comedy badasses. I guess is the gimmick. They joke around, like swing their dicks around a lot, but then they win. So the wrestling in this match was very, very good, I thought, and the storytelling was also pretty well done. Kenny Omega obviously pinned Phoenix, which I thought was kind of a shame because Phoenix looked the best out of anyone, but whatever. I don't think it hurts anyone too much to lose this way, especially with Kenny's the world champion. Probably if you aren't going to be the next number one contender, you should lose to the world champion. Maybe that's how it
Well,
is.
I don't think anybody's really getting hurt by a 6-man tag, and that's why
No.
so many 6-man tags are booked in all the different companies. These 6-man, 8-man tags as main events.
Right.
This was actually quite like the work rate was good for this match.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't see really any fault in it. It was a fun match. I like pretty much everybody in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I like Phoenix. I like Pac. Moxley is decent enough. Anderson and Gallows, I'm starting to warm up to them. It's just, I think one of the major issues is when you've seen guys be treated as a joke for so long in the other promotions, especially WWE, it becomes hard for people to get invested in them because they just expect that they're going to be treated like a joke in this company as well. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I'm hoping these guys continue to build momentum and continue to
Yeah.
do well. But I don't know. There's just a lot of goofiness that they do in AEW that might hurt these guys. I don't know. I want to see them be treated credibly and seriously and get over.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the big surprise where Kenta comes out.
Hits the go to sleep on Moxley and sets up the tag match next week, Kenta and Omega versus Moxley and Archer. And the thing is, I was really excited when he came out. Obviously, I'm a big New Japan guy. I know all the New Japan shit. He's wearing the Bullet Club shirt. Says to me pretty obviously they're working with New Japan, which is a big deal because that's like most of the great wrestling talent in outside of WWE is in New Japan. Like the AEW scooped up basically everyone else, but almost all the great wrestling, like actual good pro wrestling talent in terms of in ring ability, is in New Japan. And there was some good stuff people in Lucha Underground, but like the best of the best were in New Japan. And I think if this is like a serious, like we're gonna do long term, we're gonna exchange people, bring over young lions when they get the chance, send people over there to do G1s. It's a good thing for both companies, and it gave me a lot of booking ideas. I was thinking like, oh, I can do some fancy booking. I have some fun with this shit. I'm excited about like things that could happen, which is nice. That's it's a little bit optimistic. But when you're like you're saying, when you have like the same fucking roster of people for so long, you kind of get like it gets stale, and you need like a jolt in the arm to get new shit. And I don't think Impact was gonna do that.
Yeah.
New Japan does that, and I don't know. I thought it's a cool surprise. I don't know what you think,
Yeah.
but
Well, here's the thing. Kenta, most people probably don't even remember him as Hideo Itami because he just didn't make an impact in WWE. He didn't get over there, really. Then he went back to New Japan, and from the reports I've had since Kenta returned at New Japan, he wasn't lighting the world on fire. He seems to have slowed down a little bit with age and lost a bit of a step, right?
yeah, he had a couple of good matches. He had a pretty good G1, his first G1 back, the one that Moxley was in, actually. Not to cut you
I just
off.
remember people being upset because he came in on Naito, wasn't it? And he run in on Naito at Wrestle Kingdom after Naito won the belts. Was that Kenta who came
That
in
was
there?
Kenta, yeah, that was him. And then they were
And
going to set up the feud, and then the feud didn't happen because of the COVID. Because COVID hit Japan in January, and Kenta lives in Florida, so they had to drop the program, which is retarded. But it's just they kind of New Japan got fucked up that last year. That was a pretty terrible year overall for New Japan. But Kenta ruined his big moment. But that's it was the heat. That's like he's supposed to. You're supposed to like not like that he ruined the big moment. He's a bad guy. He's not a good guy.
yeah. So I just don't know. Like I think that he probably will be fine in AEW. He will probably have some good matches. Do I think this really changes the whole wrestling business, like some AEW fans are saying? No, but I think that it is. He's going to be a good addition to the show. He's another worker that they can use. You just have to be careful because if they bring in too many Japanese guys, they don't make them distinguished from each other. People aren't going to give a fuck. And so Kenta's come in. He's this Japanese guy with pink hair. Most people don't know why they should care about him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, because most people don't really know the Bullet Club storyline. So when comes out, it's not that big of a deal. For some people, it is. It's really cool. But even for me, knowing some of that lore, it's still not that amazing. So for people who don't know, I feel like it's not that big of a reveal. I think he'll be a good worker. I think he'll slot into these programs well with
Yeah.
Omega and the Good Brothers and Phoenix and these guys.
No, I
I
think
don't know how much of an impact.
I think specifically Kenta, if it was just Kenta, which it might just be Kenta in the end of the day, because you know how things are going to turn out. I think this would be whatever. It was just like if just was Kenta was like not with New Japan and he was just a guy just walking around. He'd be a good get, but he wouldn't be super like a. He's not like the kind of guy to like close the show out like this. The thing, like the implication with Kenta is open relationship and talent trading with New Japan, which is a good thing. I think that's like the main thing. Is like there's more so than Kenta. It opens up when the pandemic is over and they can travel. It opens up Suzuki, Okada, Tanahashi. You know, big names. Naito. You can do
Yeah,
Lij coming over. You can do Hiromu come over. There's a lot of guys who are there that like are really good. And I think even especially like you could get a lot of new, fresh, good. And there's also an LA dojo that's doing their own thing that has a lot of great American talent in there. There's Clark Connors. Um, is the obvious standout from that entire dojo experience. And there's and obviously they have got a whole bunch of contracted people, and there's Chris Dickinson, Brody King is in with New Japan right now. Fucking Jeff Cobb, he's a New Japan guy. Will Ospreay, New Japan guy. They can now work AEW dates and make some extra money, and it'd be good for the company to hire those people and bring them in. But
yeah.
for Kenta right now, um, obviously they're working him and Moxley are working a program in New Japan. So the main thing is to get that title. I mean, probably Moxley's going to start coming out with a New Japan US title, which will look good for him because he's had it this whole year. He just can't walk out with it for some reason. He is the US champion in New Japan. People just don't acknowledge it. But we can acknowledge it now, and he can fucking come out as a semi champion, gives him a little bit of a belt to shine off with that, and
Well, I'm just. Is it fully confirmed that they're going to have this working relationship? Because I'm not really sold that that's going to happen. Like
the
I don't really believe that.
That's a good point. Long term, I don't fucking know. But short term, Moxley, in the promo package for the next week's show, they've got Moxley holding the New Japan IWGP US title. Kenta's in his Bullet Club merchandise. He's in his shirt. It's not. I mean, it's not. Is it a 3-year deal? Maybe not. Is it for sure for like until a couple, probably until the end of this year? It's going to be a working deal, which could mean nothing because the guys can't
I
come
just,
over anyways. They can't do anything with him right
I
now.
just, yeah, I just don't know if you're going to see Okada, Naito, Tanahashi, these big names from Japan come over and lose to AEW guys. I mean, they
Yeah.
might come over and beat the AEW guys. That might be the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then how does that really help AEW? I mean, it
What?
gives them guys to work with, but
Yeah.
it's
I
I
mean, like,
just
well, I think it also does. You can once things are back to normal, you can send fucking Darby Allen over and have him do Best of Super Juniors. You can have Omega back in the G1. You can have these guys work these. You can send some of these
uh,
younger guys over. Like fucking Top Flight should go work in a New Japan World Tag League. Probably that would get them some great experience. To be good for them. But I think the main thing, I think Tanahashi could come over and lose. Tanahashi, I think, has been on his way out for years now. I think he's like he needs to. I don't know. If he's ready to retire, but he's like he's another one of these. He's not as bad as Jericho is, but he's not getting any younger, and I think his like prime is essentially done. But I don't think he's got any. He can come over and lose, but then also you could have Omega Okada come over and beat fucking Omega for the title for a little bit. Have Okada be the AEW champion for a couple months, and then have him lose to someone else. You could do that shit.
yeah.
Who cares though?
We'll see. I hope that they get that deal done because I think it will help them. It will help them at least solidify the hardcore base that they have and make it a product that is distinguished somewhat from WWE if they're working more of a Japanese style and they have these Japanese guys come in.
Right.
But I just worry that because of the tenuous nature of like way Omega and the Bucks left New Japan, and I've always thought that they would never agree to work with AEW for
I
those
think
reasons.
I think they probably wouldn't have, but in the last year, the management that was in control during that time period, Harold May and a couple other executives, they've all been fired, and there's like a new there's a new CEO and a new head of team in there. So the management they're working with is a completely different group of people. I don't think they had any problems with the talent or like the bookers over there in New Japan. I think the problem was always the management, and that's changed. So what this means long term, I think long term they're probably going to have some kind of relationship. I think New Japan desperately needs to work with AEW, not for getting AEW talent, but as a place to send their young lions. I'm not sure the way they send their program is they have their like NXT essentially is their fucking black short trainee guys who don't have a gimmick, don't have a character at all, and then they send them off to Mexico, Britain, or the U.S. to do an excursion. And Ring of Honor is kind of fucked, so they can't send them there anymore. So they have to have someone to send their young lions to like become major stars. And Mexico's kind of in shambles. CMLL is a disaster, so they don't have a partner in Mexico. They have a partner in the UK, and that's it. So they need someone else for somewhere else for these guys to get exposure and television time to get themselves over and into the a top position, so they can come back and be the next Okada or the next Naito for New Japan. They need that shit, and AEW offers them that.
Yeah. Well, it's just I didn't come to the conclusion you did when Kenta came in that it means that there's going to be this deal with New Japan. Now maybe that's everybody in that fan base is now very excited that that's going to happen. I'll tell you, if that doesn't end up happening, I think a lot of people would be very disappointed.
You're right.
Because
yeah,
if you're building it like, okay, well, Kenta's here and he's wearing the Bullet Club shirts, and people are expecting that they're going to get like full-on Bullet Club now, and they're going to get a lot of New Japan guys in. And if that doesn't happen now, if that's the expectation and they don't deliver on it, a lot of those hardcore fans are going to be disappointed, and they might tune out, because that's maybe the only reason that they're holding on hope for the company is for a New Japan crossover. Some of these guys. So I don't know. Hopefully it all works out. Hopefully they come in, it works out for everybody. New Japan gets what they want. AEW gets what they want. But it just seems like when the promotions collaborate, it's going to be, especially with like New Japan now, maybe because they fired the management, but they have that old school mentality, at least they used to have, where we're not going to, let our guys get beat. I remember they were so pissed the way Okada was treated in TNA. He was made fucking Samoa Joe's like bitch boy Green Hornet driver, Kato.
That they fucking never worked with TNA again after that. It was bad. I remember that. It was fucked up. But the one thing is, differences now. I mean, even a year ago, New Japan had a TV deal in the U.S. Now they're on the fucking Roku channel. They're not on cable TV. Their U.S. presence is entirely their U.S. TV presence is entirely like they got nothing. They've got an internet streaming channel. Their stuff is, if they have any plans to hope to expand to the U.S. and get new fans, they need product and people on U.S. television. I think you can get internet fans.
The question is,
and shit all day long.
Is the Japanese wrestling fan watching like WWE and AEW? Because if they're not, then it makes more sense for New Japan to send their guys over to job out. If people in Japan are well aware of AEW and they're watching it, it's going to make Japanese New Japan guys think twice about it, because they don't want to look second rate. They don't want to make it look weak,
Right.
So,
well, I think there's a ways to do it that you don't like always job out, but you can't. It's got to be give and take. I mean, obviously they're gonna come over. They're gonna beat some guys. Like I can imagine, they'll probably beat Jericho, probably beat a couple other big stars, but they're not gonna beat Omega. And Omega will probably job out a couple of their guys, but it's gonna be give and take. It can't just. It's gonna have to be 50-50 booking, brother. Just like Vince McMahon likes it. Yeah. But the one thing is
that's how it's going to have to be. But it's going to be tenuous though, because if one decision is made creative that they don't like, then they'll try and scrap the whole deal. So it's going to be a little bit tougher than say working with Impact, where Impact's just lucky to fucking have anything.
Right. That's what the fucking relationship with Ring of Honor was for so long. Now, the one thing is though, I will say this. You're saying whether New Japan fans are watching AEW. I don't think any hardcore Japanese wrestling fans are going to be watching AEW anytime soon. But I also don't. I think the idea is to get, I don't want to say more casual, but more of an American audience, more of an American wrestling fan into Japanese wrestling, to like both, to make Japanese wrestling fans out of the general American wrestling audience public, which I think they have a very good chance of doing with the AEW fan base. I think a good percentage of that, probably like, somewhere around the million viewers. I don't know. It's probably a little bit under a million, like 900,000 people who watch AEW. I bet you can convert most of those guys into watching New Japan pretty easily. I bet you they like it, frankly. It wouldn't be that hard of a stretch. You just have to get them in the right position.
Well, I don't know because a lot of those people are probably already watching New Japan. Like that's what I think. Like,
I mean, if you look at the subscriber numbers to New Japan World or like their viewership on the average Access show, I don't know if they are. I don't think they. I think there's a huge percentage of the AEW TV fan base that isn't watching New Japan. It's probably like I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like 50%, but there's probably a good chunk of those people who don't know who are just watching because it's on TV. That's a good chunk of their
yeah.
audience. Whether we like
But
it
if that's the case, then how excited are those people really going to be for Kenta or for these people? Because
right.
the way I thought of it was that at least probably half of the AEW fans are somewhat familiar with these guys. If that's not the case, like typically Japanese wrestlers, now a lot of that has to do with Vince and the way he presents them.
Mm-hmm.
But typically Japanese wrestlers haven't gotten over in America.
No.
Like it's not. And the issue is the promos. If they can speak English and cut the promos, then people will get invested in them. But if it's just okay, Japanese guy A who has great matches, Japanese guy B has great matches, Japanese guy C has amazing matches. But what's the real difference between these Japanese dudes?
No,
I mean, their hair color and stuff. Like,
you mean you're not wrong. I think the idea. The point I'm trying to make is that the kind of people who like AEW are the kind of people who get invested enough in wrestling to find out more about Japanese wrestling. But I think a lot of the fan base they've attracted in the last year or so has been a more like not like hardcore, more like an American indie fan versus a Japanese fan. So I don't know. We can talk about it all day long, but we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
We don't know. I don't know. WWE Elimination Chambers in a couple weeks.
Elimination Chamber! Oh my god! I can't wait! Sheamus in the main fucking event, brother.
Well, wait a minute. Are they doing Sheamus and McIntyre, or are they doing a Elimination Chamber match? I thought they changed it.
No, it's gonna be Elimination Chamber. Sheamus is in the Elimination Chamber, though.
Oh, okay, but it's not a one-on-one match.
It's not a one-on-one, no. Okay, let's break down to we get some questions from the chat. I want to hear some of this shit. Let's see here. We got some good questions. Let's see. How long until the Neat Wizard and the Kino Keeper crossover? When's it happening, brother?
Maybe soon. Who knows? That's actually not a bad idea. The Kino Keeper.
Oh!
The Neat Wizard!
The Neat Wizard! You dare step into my lair, Kino Keeper!
That was a good fucking. That was a good video you put out there. The fucking Neat Wizard. I laughed. It was a good one.
I laughed. We all laughed. It was fun. I texted my roommate to bring the costume up, but I don't think he's home. So I don't want to go down and drag the costume for like 5 minutes and leave you on the air for dead air for it. Sorry, bros. Yes. Just another rib on Hangman. Is Edge a draw? Do you think Edge is a draw? Ed Jetty never drew a dime, says Bad Lad.
I don't know. I think when you look at probably the ratings of Raw and stuff, he's not making too much of a difference. I think maybe his YouTube segments bring in more viewership, maybe. But I don't know. Like there are people who grew up during that era, like in the 2000s, who are becoming adults now, who might be invested in Edge. But I don't think he's. I don't know. Like for me, he's somewhat of a draw. I don't know if he's like on the level of a Cena or a Hogan or. Do you know what I mean? Like he's more of a second level. Like I don't even know if he's at the level of Orton as a draw. He's maybe just a bit below that.
Yeah, that's a tough place to be in. Fuck.
Like, and I don't know. Like I don't think he's worth probably what they're paying him. So
no, probably not. Not to WWE at least. I don't know. Here's a good question: Who do you think's gonna win, Godzilla or King Kong?
I think it'll be a dusty finish where nobody wins, but if somebody does win, it's going to be King Kong.
I want Godzilla to win because I'm a Godzilla fanboy at heart, but this is the last Godzilla movie they've got the rights to. They bought the rights to 3 Godzilla movies from Toho. This is the last one, so it's the last ride for American Godzilla, brother. He might even die in the movie, Fuck. Be pretty based.
I don't think he's going over, but it's a shame because this, if they had been able to release it in the theater, they might have been able to make enough money to keep the series going. But the last one, I don't even think fucking broke even. I think it barely broke even at
It did
best.
pretty good. The King of the Monsters one, it did pretty good.
Did it? I
Yeah,
don't.
it did okay. It was pretty. The box office. I didn't think movie wise, I didn't think it was that good. But box office wise, it did pretty well. It wasn't amazing, but it did pretty good. For a big blockbuster, I think it made a couple $1 billion. So it did okay.
Oh, it didn't make a couple $1 billion. It didn't make that.
Yeah.
Let me see what it made. It made $386 million on a $200 million budget. So this shit didn't fucking.
Is that domestic or international? Worldwide.
I think that's the total.
Damn. Ooh.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like when I saw these numbers initially for the movie, I thought they wouldn't be able to make Godzilla vs. King Kong, but they had already secured the financing for it. So that is kind of their last stand was on that. Because, you look at this and it's at best, they're breaking even or making a small profit, right? So you got to do at least double the budget. And nowadays, fuck.
Well, not right now. I think they're going to do their main money they're going to make off this is HBO Max subscriptions. That's what they're going to make their money off this shit. I'm going to go see the theater. I'm going to go see the theater.
Are the theaters going to be open for this?
Mine are open right now. I can go see a movie. I could have gone to see a movie tonight if I wanted to, actually. They're back open, baby. At least in my state. I don't know about every state.
Our theaters in Ontario were open through most of this, actually. But now, this last month with this lockdown order, they haven't been open. So I don't know. I think it's tough for the movie industry right now. A lot of these movies they're taking a big bath on because they're not making money through HBO Max. I'm telling you,
there's a lot of subscribers. I think in compared to the budget of these movies, they're not making money. But in terms of long term, they have to think, well, we can't make money off these movies anyways. We may as well use it to build some kind of fucking profit margin.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm happy they are releasing these movies, at least for my sake. Just for me personally, I'm glad they're releasing Godzilla vs. Kong. At least it's something to fucking do and talk about. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Okay, he's no longer a mod. Yes, that is a Domo. That is a Domo plushie on the bed there. I got that. I won that at a carnival.
What the fuck is a Domo? Anyway,
that brown thing.
Somebody asked how am I better than Spoonie when I do the same thing and promise the Griffpocalypse and give you nothing? Oh, ye of little faith, it's on its way, it's coming. One of these days, it's coming. But the reality is, I'm not Spoonie because I don't make $5,000 a month on Patreon to sit on my ass. You don't pay me a fucking thing, so you're being an entitled little bitch boy. And you ought to be grateful for what Kino I choose to grace you with at what time. Because you're not paying my fucking bills, boy.
Hey, you know what? You know what they say? And much like the history of Power Rangers, it'll be out when it's out. It has no set schedule. It'll be out when it's out. And frankly, the more you talk about it, the longer he spends not making the video. How about that?
That's right there. Fuck. I don't know. The longer I wait, the more shit keeps happening that's, fucking everybody over anyway. So it'll be better.
I am not Doug Walker. I am Linkara. I'm the Linkara.
You're the Linkara of the fucking crew?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's right. It's me. Linkara. Let me get out my fedora.
I'm thinking about me again. Are you speaking about me again?
I see you've got the ad blocker on while you're watching this one. You might want to turn that off, please. Thanks. Rip Jew-Wario. You know what's funny about Jew-Wario? I just found that out. He's not Jewish.
No.
He wasn't Jewish.
In today's day and age, he could never get away with that, I don't think. But back then, nobody ever said anything. They were like, okay, he's Jew-Wario.
It's like, I thought he was Jewish. I thought it was just like a thing. He was like, I'm a Jew and I like Wario. But no, what's the deal with Jew-Wario? He's not a Jew and he's not Wario.
What's the deal with you, Wario? Oh, welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Where bad comics burn.
Lane Card's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn.
Is he still making fucking videos? That fucking
Yeah.
guy, or
You and I. Here's a funny revelation. You know, what's it called? So I looked over to Link Carr's YouTube page and I saw his most viewed videos at like 300,000 views. It's like 500,000. You know, and you know, there's that fucking Oni plays where they make fun of Linkara and the fucking Linkara voices or whatever. That's got like 1,000,000
yeah?
views. More people have seen Oni plays and make fun of
No.
Linkara than anyone has seen a Linkara video.
Oh man, that's fucking tough.
Like
That's tough.
more people. He's at a Christian level now, where more people know him for making fun of him than for what he actually does. That's sad, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's he's at 125K subs. You look at his viewership here. I mean, 4,000, 25,000, 2.6, 24, 2.6. I mean, this guy's not cracking 100K views on
That
anything.
often.
He's
Dude,
he's not even breaking like 50K in the last fucking year. Jesus.
Listen, my "You Don't Mess with the Zohan" video has cracked 100,000 views. It's actually close to like 500,000. I don't know how much it's got. It's got a lot of views right now. I'll check.
I don't know.
So
It's just that the guy's been putting in fucking work for like 15 years almost now, and he's still only at this level. It's tough.
He hasn't really made it. It sucks. You know, I've always he's well, it doesn't suck. He's kind of it's just what it is. But fuck.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. What can you do? I mean, I'm glad people like Obscurus Lupa are sitting in obscurity, forever forgotten.
You know,
in film brain. He's
critic!
I gotta take a piss.
I'm so excited!
I gotta piss.
You gotta piss.
I gotta piss, buddy. It's time for me to piss on the stream.
Just go take a piss
again.
Just go. It's not that.
I'm taking a piss.
The neat wizard. Andrew! Yeah? Could you go downstairs and get the blanket, the Snuggie, and the fucking Chinese hat for me?
Where are they?
On the couch floor and on the bookcase.
Okay, you need the Chinese hat and...
the Snuggie and the white blanket.
Okay.
I love you! I can't believe I just did that. Oh, fuck. Why is 4chan garbage? Because it's not TV Chan, the greatest Chan website in the world. Huh? Honestly, like I've kind of got the hatred for 4chan. I mean, I used to be part of the 8chan shit, and it was like, it was fucked back then. I never got it. Fuck.
Oh shit.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Just get my fucking charger in here. My wires are all tangled and fiddly fucked. It's tough.
The Chinese hat's on the bookcase, on the side and on the back.
Over there?
No, downstairs, like on the far right bookcase. Give me a second.
You have a far right bookcase? Full of far right literature? Is that right? Cool. Far right bookcase.
It has PS4 games in it.
Are these like neo-Nazi PS4 games or?
Yeah, it's got Red Dead Redemption of Call of Duty.
I don't know, buddy. Might have to disavow this program. I don't know.
I'm not a Nazi. I am not a Nazi.
I am not a Nazi.
Give me a second. I gotta transfer. I got the request. I gotta do it. I gotta do the bit PPP while we're live.
Oh, okay.
Ah! Ah! Hilden!
You mean the rice hat?
Rice hat, yeah.
Yeah, it was on the far left of the face, by the way.
What the hell is he doing? It's dead air. Dead air.
Dead air! Be gone! I cast thee out into the street, thine whore! Oh, PPP! You, my child, have entered the den of the Neat Wizard!
For facing the power of the Keynote Keeper, Neat Wizard, you will bow before the Keynote Keeper and his lightning power!
I bow before no man, Keynote Keeper!
The Keynote Keeper is tired of your scabs, and he also curses Ryan Kay for denying LeBron James his glory.
LeBron James will suffer in eternity hell for making money. He should have converted that ball in power to the ball in sheets of nothing. Someone's calling. We have a call in.
So the landlord's fucking gonna ban you.
Caller's voicemail. Goodbye.
What?
Someone called in.
Did Alexa Bliss call into the show?
Alexa Bliss! You whore monster! You dare defile my board with your fake tits and ass! I cast ye down into the purgatory of eternal plastic, where thou shalt be forced to inject your implant into your tiny little pea brain every day of the week. I so speaketh thee.
Alexa Bliss is a strong, independent, smart woman. Cool.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
You have reached the call line of the Neat Wizard. What say you, maggot?
The revolt of 1173 to 74 was a rebellion against King Henry II of England by 3 of his sons, wife Eleanor of Aquitaine, and their rebel supporters. The revolt
What a virgin!
18 months. Henry's rebellious family members had to resign themselves to his continuing rule over reconciled. King Henry II ruled England, Normandy, and Anjou, while his wife Queen Eleanor ruled the vast territory of Aquitaine. In 1173, Henry had 4 legitimate sons.
Shut the fuck up, faggot!
What a fag! He gets
What
his
the
one
fuck?
chance, his one opportunity to be a big star to 20 fucking viewers. And he tells us about King Henry's bastard molestating children or something. Oh, big star there.
Hello!
I hail thee, wizard!
You have reached the Neat Wizard. Speak your piece now, maggot.
I bow down before thee, neat wizard.
Okay, what do you have to say for yourself, little shit?
Only that I pledge myself to the neat. Goodbye, wizard. I cannot be in your power.
Fuck off!
The callers just really fucking suck. I don't know, like, what are we getting here?
This is awesome. This is what Kino is all about, PPP. The eccentrics. This is gonna go. This is the legendary stream right now. Fuck.
Legendary.
The legendary stream.
Impromptu wrestling streams.
Okay. Here's a wrestling question for you, PPP. What do you think about Alexa Bliss's new gimmick, her new pedophile gimmick? You think that's cool?
I think it's pretty sexy, man. It every fucking week. Did you ever hear the song, the Alexa Bliss song, GAHOOLE?
No.
You didn't see the pop song of Alexa Bliss?
No, I haven't seen the Alexa Bliss pop song. What?
I'll show you. You've not seen this? The fucking, like, the pop song that Bowling for Soup did? It's called Alexa Bliss.
What? Bowling for Soup?
This is Alexa Bliss by Bowling for Soup. I can't believe you haven't seen this, GAHOOLE.
Oh my fucking god.
It's got nearly 3 million views, buddy.
3 million views. Here we got a caller. What?
To accept, press 1.
What? Do you just fart? Fucking assholes.
Well, you got to pull up this video in the fucking on screen and
I'm
show
pulling
everybody.
up right now. I'm pulling up
It's
right
lo-
now, brother. Let's get this going. We're gonna put it up. We're gonna put us up here. I'm gonna put this guy right here. Watch us get copyright strike for this.
I bet you he will. It'll be based.
What? What's Alexa Bliss doing here?
She saw me for the first time in Columbus. She was with her friends and I was in a tour bus. A few months later, she was wearing my shirt in a photo shoot. I didn't even know that she was famous. How could someone so pretty be so dangerous? She's only 5 foot tall, but maybe 5'2" in her wrestling boots. And I hear she can even sing. She's the champ of everything. Why can't every girl be more like Alexa Bliss? How can a chick on TV make me feel like this?
She's. Why can't every girl be more like Alexa Bliss, buddy?
No! What? It's a fucking green screen.
Every girl be more like Alexa Bliss.
Jesus Christ! Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
They're in the car with Alexa Bliss.
Oh, fuck this.
It's amazing.
Dude, we're
I
fucked.
like Alexa Bliss. She's got a finishing move called Twisted Bliss.
This is killing the Neat Wizard's powers. The Neat Wizard has lost his powers in the name of this fucking destructive power. Look, it's tits. She's
Does
got
she not?
breasts. She has breasts. Breasts.
Does she not have your heart in a sleeper hold, buddy?
God. Oh my god. You know what's great, PPP? Seeing my mortal
What?
enemy given flesh like this. Watching this horrible fucking... Nothing makes me feel like shit quite like a black child and a women's wrestler hanging out together.
I can't believe you hadn't seen this. I would have brought it up earlier to you, buddy.
Fuck me, this is terrible. This is actually awful. I'm pissed. I'm actually upset at this, you know. This ruined my day. This ruined my whole night. I was having a good night hanging out with you doing the show. I was doing the fucking Neat Wizard. And now I got this whore. This whore. This song. 3 million views on this shit? Why?
Well, it's a classic. Alexa Bliss has put the heart of the nation into a sleeper hold.
She's got a pig baby. Pig baby.
Like, this music video is insane. They like make her like weird science style, like she's like their sex robot slave. And then she drives them around in the CGI car. It's just an amazing piece of Kino.
That's what kids
Destroyed
want.
the Neat Wizard.
This is the future of our generations. We're gonna grow up to fantasies of that woman. Just, you know, being fucking cool.
Amazing shit. Just amazing shit.
Okay.
Well,
right, any other questions before we go? Those kids got molested.
Oh fuck! It's like that South Park episode where they go, "Nice." Is that what it is with Alexa Bliss, or is it actually she's molested the kids?
Yeah.
What do you think, bud?
Oh no, she's definitely she's a 12-year-old child too now in character, so it's okay. They're both 12-year-olds, bro. It's okay now. Hey, I just want to say one thing to Stone Mexican guy. I know you're in the chat right now, or at least you were. Bailey's a fat, ugly Mexican hag, and I would beat the shit out of her with one hand. Fuck Bailey.
I don't know. Bailey's pretty thick, bro. You're not into the thick ladies?
She thick.
You're not into the thickness?
Now hold up. Let's back it up a little bit. She thick.
Imagine the smell, bro, of the brops from the thick ass of Bailey.
I fucking hate women. I hate women. Did you know that? I really
What?
fucking hate them.
You hate women?
I hate all
Is that
women.
right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, the chat says Bailey would break your spine on sight, Gahool. Is this true?
I don't think she could. She couldn't lift me up. I'm too fat.
Bailey is a strong woman there, Gahool.
She would try to pick me up and she would just fall over because of my weight.
Oh, fuck.
My cock alone is more than she could lift. It weighs too much. Even just the cock is too much for her. That's how heavy I am.
Okay, incel. Shit.
You're right.
You're just hating on the women. It's just because you don't have sex, buddy, that you're hating on the women.
Oh, I have the power of the incel wizard. You cannot cast me with thine horses.
Ryan asks, why is Rhea Ripley so ugly? What, you're not into alternative dykes, Ryan? Is that you're not into that?
You know, there's a dyke in Fargo. Did you know that?
What?
There's a dyke in Fargo. Yeah, they constructed it in 1890.
What?
You know, a dyke's a name for like it's like a river, like flow thing.
Yeah. You put your finger in the dike.
You stick it right up in there. Alexa
You
Bliss
get your finger up in the dike.
I've beaten up the Bliss man. I've beaten up the Alexa Bliss simps. I can beat up Alexa Bliss too.
Well, Alexa Bliss is more powerful than her simps because she's going to channel the power of the Fiend to destroy the fucking meat wizard.
I am fucked. I shall defeat his satanic powers are no match for my holy might.
You have to believe that Bray Wyatt's fedora incel powers are almost equal to thine own.
It is true. He is a true meat king himself. Husky Harris, one of our own. But we shall defeat him as all.
She made Alexa Bliss his slave there, a sex slave, not even have sex with her.
He
to take her away from the others.
He fell to the dark side, the simp side, the side of the female. He forsook his own truth and destiny. He must reject the path and return to holy goodness. By purging himself of all female might, he will return to truth and luxury. Only then will the attendees forgive him. In the name of the Father, the Son, and my mother's car.
Mother's car. Base. Oh, shit. All right, folks. I guess that's the fucking show this week. It went a bit off the rails there.
It went great. This is a good show. You can't deny it.
That's right. You just do this unprompted, unscheduled show, and it fucking went quite well. I was quite pleased with it. And hopefully the viewers at home enjoyed it.
I wasn't sure if we were going to do one because I obviously couldn't do it Sunday because Super Bowl Sunday, you know. And but we'll do it next week. I'll be around. I'll see you next week, bro. Watch AEW, I guess. I might watch something else. I don't know. There's supposed to be a New Japan show this week I might watch, but...
Maybe I'll watch SmackDown. I don't know. I say every week I'm going to watch it, and then I just watch the highlights on YouTube or whatever. So.
Yeah, that's all you got to do, bro. The highlights are the best part. Need more Linkara talk. Let's do... I will schedule a Linkara... I'll do a Deck Out the Glasses stream if you're around, but I can just do it myself, too. Don't worry. We'll have plenty of Linkara talk. Top 10 Linkara talks. Number 1... It'll be out when it's out.
It'll be out when it's out. Peace out, juice.